Are you a happy little boy, huh? Happy little child. Yes. Yes. Happy little one. Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome once again to Stately Vaughan Manor, where Roger and I have returned with a couple of boxes of books that we got in the mail last week. So, we are getting book mail, Roger. I don't ask for any of these books, but people send them to me. So I did get a couple boxes of books. I got 2 boxes from 2 different people. And yeah, let's go through them, Roger. Let's go through these boxes of books. So the first box of books is sent from a friend of mine who was the person who sent the last box of books to me. That I think I went through that on a weekly reading report. But he sent me another box, kind of out of the blue. So he did send a note as well. Now, this friend of mine, he doesn't want his name used, so we won't reveal his secret identity. But he did leave me a nice note. And the note says, "Dear Michael, The Burning Range and El Paso I found excellent. Read The Burning Range soon, and I think you will enjoy it also." Okay, so one of these books is going to be called The Burning Range, and I will set that aside, and I will read it soon. I will read it soon. It'll be the next, I'm assuming The Burning Range is a Western. I'm assuming that. So that is what I'm going to be, that's the next Western I'll read. So yes, the others, I admit to not reading them, but they are name brand authors. Name brand, Roger. And I hope to give you some, and I hope give you some joy. They probably will. Dracula, I did read and is excellent. Yes, Dracula is excellent. Happy to furnish you with some quick reads for the 500 book challenge. Yes, the 500 book challenge, the challenge where I can't buy any books until I've read 500 books I own. But according to the rules of the challenge, when I started, people can give me gifts, and that's acceptable. I didn't imagine at the time that I'd be getting as many books as I've gotten, because at the time, people weren't just sending me books like this. But I can't say no, Roger, because that would be impolite. It'd be impolite, and politeness is the most important thing. So what did my friend send me in this box? Let's take a look. Okay. As he mentioned, he did send me a copy of Dracula. Of course, I have several copies of Dracula, but not this one. And this one is awesome because it's a Penguin Popular Classics mass market paperback. And it has Bela Lugosi on the cover. So Bela Lugosi is my favorite Dracula. I don't think the film that he was in was the best Dracula movie. It wasn't, but he is my favorite Dracula. I think Bela Lugosi just nails that role. And he only did this role twice. He only played Dracula twice. Once in the original Dracula, and again in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Another classic of the cinema. And he was great in it. Bela Lugosi was great in that movie. He was great in both of those movies. So he is my favorite Dracula. And so now I finally have a copy of Dracula with Bela Lugosi on it, which I did not have before. So that's awesome. Thank you very much, my friend, who will remain nameless, for sending me this book. That's fantastic. I'm really happy to have this. So the next time I read Dracula, might be in this book, and I guarantee you I'll read Dracula again. And here we have a book. I'm thinking I must have a copy of this, but I'm not sure that I do. This is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. So I finally have a copy of Catch-22. And it's a cool old mass market paperback of Catch-22. And I've never read this book, and it's it's on my list of books to read. I have a list somewhere that I put together of books that I really, really, really need to read. I should find that list. It's around here somewhere. I made it years ago. And I still haven't gotten around to Catch 22. So now I have no excuse because I have a copy of Catch 22. He also sent me, let me see here. Yeah, he also sent me Chromosome 6. This is a Robin Cook book. And he wrote, I think, medical thrillers, right? And I've never read a single Robin Cook book. There's Dr. Cook himself on the back looking all doctory. You know, he had to doctor himself up to be on the back cover. So I've never read a Robin Cook book. A Robin Cook book, Roger. I've never read one of those. But now I can because I've got Chromosome 6. So there you go. And he also, okay, so now we're getting into the Westerns. Savage Frontier. It's Savage Frontier by Frank Burleson. Savage Frontier by Frank Burleson. So that's pretty cool. And we've got, this is one of the books that he said was good, right? Yeah, he found this excellent. So El Paso and the Wild Ones. This is a double, it looks like, by Matt Braun. 2 classic Westerns in 1 brand new volumes. 2 books for the price of 1. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I love Westerns. I have a million of them. I have now, since people have been sending me Westerns, enough Westerns to last me the rest of my life, which hopefully will be a while, Roger. Hopefully it will be eternal if you ever get around to making me immortal like you said you would. He's been slow in doing that. But yes, El Paso and the Wild Ones by Matt Braun. That's awesome. Got that. And we've got Bad Hombres. Bad Hombres. This is a William W. Johnstone book. And in tiny print, it also says J.A. Johnstone, who I think was probably his kid, who I think probably actually wrote the book. That's my guess. But now I've got some Johnstone books. Then we have another Johnstone book, also written by J.A. Johnstone, called Biscuits and Gravy, a Chuckwagon Trail Western. There you go. It got some biscuits and gravy there. Biscuits and gravy. Ooh, Louis L'Amour. Fantastic. So we have Louis L'Amour's Rivers West, which is a Louis L'Amour book I don't think I've ever read. I mean, some Louis L'Amour books I'm not sure about because, you know, he's written a million of them. But this one I'm pretty sure I've never read. So that's wonderful. Rivers West. Thank you. Louis L'Amour is also always awesome. Here's another Louis L'Amour. The Strong Shall Survive. The Strong Shall Survive. Look at that. And this is in perfect condition too. Lovely. Wow. The Strong Shall. Actually, it's The Strong Shall Live. I didn't even bother reading the title. The Strong Shall Live. That's the title of it. Fantastic. What else do I have? Ooh, I remember this one. This one was good. This is Son of a Wanted Man. It's been a long time since I've read this, but I think this was one of the first, if not the first, Louis L'Amour book I ever read. Son of a Wanted Man. I remember this being really good. So here we go. And I don't know that I currently have a copy of this. I'm not sure I do. I probably lent it out to somebody and never got it back because that's what happens when you lend out books. But yeah, here we go. Now I have it. Awesome. Ooh, The Outlaws of Mesquite. The Outlaws of Mesquite. And that's a wonderful cover. I just love that. And so this is a collection of frontier stories. Again, a Louis L'Amour book I don't think I've read. I'm pretty sure I've never read this one. But now I really want to because that cover is awesome. Look at that. Louis L'Amour. That might be the last of the L'Amour. We'll see. Now we have another Matt Braun book. This is The Warlords. The Warlords. So there we go. Another Braun book. Wonderful. I think these might all be Westerns now. Another Johnstone book. So this is William Johnstone and actually J.A. Johnstone. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he wrote the book. Bloodthirsty, a Buckhorn Western. The Rip-Roaring series by the authors of Flintlock. So there we go. Bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty. What else do we have? I haven't come across The Burning Range yet. Six Killer U.S. Marshal. This is another Johnstone book by the Johnstones. Six Killer U.S. Marshal. This is the first in a new series. The first. Then we have Marked for Death by the John Stones. A Death and Texas Western. And this is one of those weird paperbacks that are extra wide, you know, which I've seen a few of. I'm getting the wrong book. I've seen a few of these where you get the extra wide paperback. It's an odd format. It's odd, but I'll take it. Okay, here's The Burning Range. Okay, so this is Ralph Compton, but it's not really Ralph Compton. It's a Ralph Compton Western by Joseph A. West. Joseph A. West is actually pretty good, if I'm remembering right. And he wrote The Burning Range. Again, you know, they're just cashing in on Compton's name when really all the credit should go to West, Joseph A. West. And of course, in the author's page, they just put Ralph Compton as if he wrote the book. But apparently it's good because my friend said this is good and that I should set it aside and read it, which I will. I will read this one, The Burning Range. That'll be the next Western I read. Then we have more John Stones with Evil Never Sleeps. Evil Never Sleeps, a Will Tanner U.S. Deputy Marshal Western. And we've got another one of those, it looks like. Powder Burn. Powder Burn. It's pretty much the same cover. He's just shooting in a different direction. But yeah, Powder Burn from the John Stones. Okay, I cleaned up the mess I made from that last box of books. Let's go on to the next box. And this box is from Paperback Warrior. Yes, the famous Paperback Warrior podcast. And the Paperback Warrior sent me a little note here to go along with these awesome books. They look awesome. Greetings from the paperbackwarrior.com podcast, YouTube channel, and blog. I enjoy your channel and watch both new and old episodes nearly every free minute. How horrifying. I wanted to offer you a little Paperback Warrior care package with some books that I hope you don't already have. I have a tiny scrap of information for you in each book. Enjoy, and please continue making great content. Great content, Roger. Man, that's what we do around here. So thank you, my friend Paperback Warrior. I will leave the Paperback Warrior linked down below so you can go check out his awesome podcast and YouTube channel, because Paperback Warrior is awesome. It's a lot more awesome than the mess we do here. But let's go through this book, this box of books. What do we got? Okay, the first book is looking pretty awesome. This is Do You Know Me and Other Aberrations by Bruce Elliott. There's Bruce Elliott there looking all badass. So this is from Stark House Crime Classics. And no, I didn't already have this book. I kind of suspect that I won't have any of the books in this box. But let's read the informational note. I'm not sure if you have read Bruce Elliott, 1914 through 1973. And no, I don't think I have. He was a prolific pulp author, television screenwriter, and stage musician. Magician. He was a stage magician. I could read. He wrote 15 novels for the Shadow magazine and helped edit and publish a number of men's magazines. This is a new collection of short stories pulled from detective and science fiction pulps. I enjoyed each selection, and I do believe you'll love the title story. I probably will. So that's fantastic. Paperback Warrior. He's got some good taste in books. So I'm sure this is wonderful. So yeah, Do You Know Me and Other Aberrations by Bruce Elliott. Look forward to reading that. What else do we have in here? We have Ghosts of Society. Ghosts of Society by E. Phillips Oppenheim, another Stark House mystery classic. There's Mr. Oppenheim himself right there on the back. Let's see what Paperback Warrior has to say about this. Ghosts of Society by E. Phillips Oppenheim. This Stark House book was released late last year. This is a new edition of the 1908 classic. The book was also published under the title The Distributors, under Oppenheim's pseudonym of Anthony Partridge. Typically, the early 1900s featured a lone vigilante hero representing the people. This book is a little different, as it features a team of 7 like-minded vigilantes. They call themselves the Ghosts. I haven't read it. Maybe you have. No, I haven't read it. Now I will, because that looks pretty cool. So, another Stark House mystery classic, Ghosts of Society, by E. Phillips Oppenheim. That looks pretty good. I look forward to that. Oh, this looks really awesome. I think I've actually heard of this book, but I haven't read it. So this is Devil Dog Squadron #1, The Crimson Fog. The Crimson Fog. So that's awesome. Donald E. Kehoe's Mad Marines in 8 Weird World War I adventures. So that looks amazing. So let's see what the note says on this one. This is a series of pulp stories that originally appeared in Skybirds magazine in the early 1930s. Aviation adventure by Donald Kehoe featuring Cyclone Bill Garrity and his Mad Marines of the Western Front. There are plenty of World War II stories, but the World War I setting isn't as prevalent. You may enjoy these tales. Yeah, I could pretty much guarantee you that I'll enjoy these stories. So that's wonderful. Thank you for sending this to me. That's fantastic. Devil Dog Squadron #1. Wow. So, oh, we got a couple hardcovers, it looks like. What do we have here? This looks like something that's going to be perfect for the upcoming Garb-August event. He-Men, Bagmen, and Nymphos. Classic men's adventure magazine stories by Walter Kalin. That's amazing. And look at that back cover. Wow. He-Men, Bagmen, and Nymphos. Can't wait to read what it says about these because this looks amazing. Robert Dice and Violet Doyle published this book in 2014 in paperback format with black and white photos. This hardcover edition was just released, and it features color photos. These stories were authored by the great Walter Kalin, one of the best writers of men's adventure magazines, what are referred to as MAMs. He was prolific in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. He wrote science fiction, sleazy noir, war, spy, and adventure yarns. So this looks incredible. And it apparently was just published. Yeah, we got lots of stories in here, it looks like, with some of the original illustrations from the MAMs. That's amazing. That's great. This looks like some cool stuff. Wow. The nymph who leads an African death army. Man, that's something right there. Yeah, this looks like a must-read for Garb-August, which is only a couple days away. So that's going to be awesome. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Weasels ripped my flesh. So the famous Weasels Ripped My Flesh, which is a story I've heard about and have never read. Of course, I've seen that illustration. Oh, here's the unedited, uncovered illustration. That's amazing. Weasels Ripped My Flesh. Wow. Okay, so this is definitely a must-read for Garb-August. The Illustrated Men's Adventure Anthology, edited by Robert Dice and Wyatt Doyle, with Josh Allen Friedman. Fantastic. That's amazing. Look at that. Okay, so this is going to be fantastic. Let's read the note from the Paperback Warrior. What do we got here? This book was originally published in paperback format in 2013. This is the brand new hardcover edition, and it features great stories pulled from the men's adventure magazines with color illustrations. You'll recognize some of the best writers of the 20th century who were writing these types of stories. Wow. I wonder if it has any Harlan Ellison in here. Yes, it does. Harlan Ellison is in here, along with Lawrence Block, Mario Puzo. So a lot of writers wrote for these magazines back in the day. And this looks amazing. So yeah, we've got full color illustrations, a ton of awesome stories. So this should be a lot of fun. It's the living end. It's the living end, this book. So yeah, this is definitely a lock for Garb August. I will be reading this very, very soon. In a matter of days, I will be picking this up because one must read Weasel's Rip My Flesh for Garb August. One simply must. So there you go. The first book I'll read for Garb August for sure. If I read nothing else for Garb August, I'm going to read that. What else do we have? Men's Adventure Quarterly. Look at that. That's fantastic. She was trouble and she knew it. She was trouble and she knew it. What does this note say? This is the newest issue of Men's Adventure Quarterly. I think you'll really enjoy the private eye theme of the book. It features some great stories by pulp and paperback authors like Frank Kane and Michael Avallone. Michael Avallone, the author of Beneath the Planet of the Apes novelization. There you go. There is also a spotlight on futuristic private eye stories and a feature on the Honey West PI series of books and stories and the television show. So we get some Honey West in here. Good. We need more Honey West in the world. And we do here in Men's Adventure Quarterly. Fantastic. So we got at least one more thing in here. Actually, a couple more things in here. Here we have the Paperback Fanatic, issue number 49. The Paperback Fanatic. And it says in the note to this one, this is the newest issue of Paperback Fanatic. There's so much great content in here about Conan pastiches, science fiction paperbacks, naval fiction, and the late great Robert Laurie, and even a look at the old pulp idea of a character physically changing faces to avoid some dastardly villain or criminal empire. Okay, wonderful. That's awesome. Thank you, Paperback Warrior. And he sent me what looks like probably is a mug. This is the only gift in the box for Roger. You get one too, Roger. He looks a bit chilly in these days. It's because you don't have much skin left, Roger. Maybe a cup of hot tea or coffee may warm up his old bones. Well, let's take a look at the coffee mug. He really only drinks blood. Oh, wonderful. Paperback Warrior sent me a Paperback Warrior coffee mug. That is amazing. Look at that. Wow. Paperback Warrior is awesome. And like I said, I got him linked down below. Check him out. He sent me all this cool stuff. Thank you to both my friends for sending me all of these books. I got some awesome stuff to read. Got The Burning Range. I got Weasels Ate My Flesh. I got a coffee mug that you could drink blood out of. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, my friends. I will catch you next time.